Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis. Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about PCLinuxOS. We're going to talk a little more about PCLinuxOS. My last video, I basically showed you how to install it and gave it a little look around and made sure that what I call my essential software would be available, and it is. I've installed that on this laptop right here. This laptop is a satellite, Toshiba satellite, and it was made in 2005, so it's going on 16 years old. We got an Intel i3, what you'd say is a 4-core. It's 2-core with 2 threads. AMD Radeon card and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, this system, if you run that command more etc-os-release, you can see the name of it is PCLinuxOS. But right here, kind of curious, ID-like is Mandriva. That was in there. I remember seeing that last year when I looked at PCLinuxOS, and it hadn't changed. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's okay. It's just information. Otherwise, got OBS running right now and recording. Got a USB camera and USB microphone. These items here open, and we're running about half of our processor speed, and we still haven't reached a gigabyte of RAM. So I'm gonna go ahead and close these out. This is hard info, by the way. Tells you it's like a what would you reckon this to? Task manager, old task manager. Anyway, got what I call, like I said, my essential software, and that would be Featherpad, File Manager, that's Thunar, that comes in by default. GNOME Disk Utility, OBS Studio, Kdenlive, Audacity, Simple Screen Recorder. And they all work flawlessly, just like they're supposed to. I do also have VirtualBox installed. Before I launch this, though, let me show you. In the menu itself, under the Software Center, you'll find VirtualBox Manager. It'll ask you for your password. And I must have typed it wrong. All right, so here it already knows that it's installed, and it's asking me, do I want to install it or upgrade it? But if this was the first time you ran it, you'll have 3 different options, and the one of the 3 will be the VirtualBox. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. Yeah, I chose to do that. And this is the latest 6.1 VirtualBox. And I got Arch Linux set up in it. Just out of curiosity yesterday, I went ahead and set that up. And you can see it. And I hear the fans on the laptop. All right. And this is nothing more than the base install, and I did install NeoFetch. So far, nothing but good reports on PCLinuxOS. Time will tell. This is, like I said, my first real day in it, and I'm going to continue to look around. I have found a few things that don't work, but they're so small, who would care? Like, I'll give you for instance, cmatrix is not available in their repositories. So, and there's probably some other program that does something very similar to that. I think there is. As a matter of fact, I just can't recall what it is, but I do seem like I recall seeing something like that a couple years ago, maybe on DT's channel, Derek, DistroTube. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this video, and I'll come back when I got more to report. This is day 1. Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis. Welcome back. This is part 2 of living in PCLinuxOS. I got a couple of programs here that are not going to be available to the regular repositories, and I have not investigated to find out whether or not there's another way to get these programs. Either way, they're small and don't mean much. So cmatrix, glances, and mugshot. I did do the printer and the scanner, and all that worked just fine right out of the box the first time. Show you, this was a test page that I printed. Then I used the scanner function to scan it into my system as a PDF. And so that worked just fine, which is always a good thing if you need to print. To create an image of my file, now this is in your menu. And let's see, file tools. Yeah, right here. Right in your menu, you'll find MyLiveUSB version 4. And I didn't know what that was, but I liked the way it sounded when I was reading up on it. And we have a website here, PCLinuxOS and it tells you about the live CD and how to create your own. And it is just what it says. It will create an image of your system. And there's a couple ways of doing this. The first way, of course, is this way. And you just really have to run two commands. umount -a, and then when you get through MyLiveCD, and then my image, that image can be named anything you'd like for it to be. But it does recommend, or it says you will have to have a package called draklive-install. And I did that and went to Synaptic Package Manager and installed that before I ran this. And when you run those commands, it's going to include every single thing on your system in the home folder. All files and programs will be listed in that ISO. And I'll show you here. That for just a second. I'll show you what mine. The very first one I ran was this one right here, and I ran this with that MyLiveCD command. And you can see it was 9.3 gigabytes. All right. Then I run it again, but I did not exclude this folder, and you can see the size of it is file. You can see the size of it is 19.0. So go back to the web here. They give you an example of here how to exclude video of the video directory, and it's just one example here showing you how to get rid of or not include videos. And you can, if you're more familiar with or more comfortable with the command line, that works just fine. You can also get help by MyLiveCD space -- help, and they'll give you a lot of information on it. You come on down though, the command is disk free. It tells you in the output, look under the used amount space to have field. It's warning you to make sure that you have enough storage space to create an ISO. And seen here where it said MyLiveGTK. I wanted to find out what that was, and I looked right here, and here it is. This is a great program. Let me see. Used GTK. It's going to ask for my password. Minimize that out of the way. And here now you have the option to build that same exact ISO, but instead of having to use, sorry about all that, instead of having to use command lines, you can just simply go in here and output. First start with the name of it, then the output file, where do you want it to go in the home directory. All right, and then if you want to exclude any directories, you just click on the add directory. Let's exclude videos. And what else? Let's exclude Linux systems. And then that's for directories. If you just need a file, specific file, you can include them this way. And there you go. Now, you do have a couple options here. You can name it, give it a publisher, the data preparer, application identifier. Let's see, you can also preview it, and it'll show you what it's going to do right there. And you can configure it. Auto save on exit, exclude directories, save exclude files, auto calculate data size. So you do have some other options here, but to me, the beautiful part of it is being able to exclude directories or files in either way. You can dedicate the working directory, but when you get through, you can just click on go, and it'll go through the process, and it'll eliminate all of these and build you an ISO. Goes out of that. And let's see, was that this one? Yeah. And this would be the one that I built after I excluded everything on this system. This is the ISO that I created, and this has got everything, all of the programs that I have installed, anything that's in my home folder that I wanted to keep is here. What a great tool that is. I'll make sure that this link gets in the description right here. Very nice. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to point out? Okay, so it comes with ddcopy, and I used it to both format and burn an image to a USB drive, and it worked flawlessly. There was no hiccups, no anything complicated about it. And I did find a command line cheat sheet, if you will, for PCLinuxOS, and if you want to see every command line that's actually in the system, just say you wanted to look through and see all of the commands that are possible that you have at your disposal to use and run down, like shut down and that swap off, which I thought was kind of neat. Another thing that's really been a pleasure is got a USB drive here formatted as an NTFS, and as you know, some systems make it difficult to even recognize. I'm going to plug that in and see how nicely PCLinuxOS picks it up. So it picked it up there, and we'll open it because I went through the settings and I told it to open it, and there it is. Just to verify, let's go this, left click on that and verify its contents are NTFS. So that's a Windows format, and so you're not going to have any problems picking up a USB just because you formatted it in Windows, which is a great plus, by the way. Just anything to make it easier is better. Anything that just works out of the box is better. If you do, going back to the MyLiveUSB, I should have put this first. If you do run that MyLive, let me go ahead and just open it up. MyLiveUSB. We're probably not going to get very far here because it's going to ask me for a USB device, and I'm not going to plug one in. But if you follow this instruction here, this is going to format a USB drive for you. And in my case, and I'm assuming that every case, it's going to create an EFI system partition, and then a root partition, and a home partition, all on the USB device, in preparation of being able to install a live system on that USB. Now, when you run that, though, you're going to eventually, I'll close that. Near the end of the process, you'll have this select boot options, and which is awesome. I selected every one of them. You got standard live boot option, boot with persistence, so you don't have to, you can actually save some folders, some directories, files, what have you, data, video safe mode, copy to RAM, install PCLinuxOS, and boot in debug mode. And on my ISO, I selected every one of those. And when you get through with that, and a few minutes later, it's going to say, congratulations, that installation was complete. So you just click done, and it tells you to remove your partition, click done, and you're there. You can boot up to it. It'll have every one of your programs, your entire, everything you've configured here, it'll be in there just like you have it. That is a nice feature. So I'll make sure this link gets in the description and in the show notes below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on another video. Peace out. Bye.